Long Island serial killer Rex. Hey there everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got a fascinating case to dive into. The intriguing and complex story of Rex Heuermann. But remember, this video is all about speculation and analysis, not diagnosis. So, let's get started. The Long Island serial killer case refers to a series of unsolved murders of multiple individuals, mostly women, whose remains were discovered in and around Long Island, New York, between 2010 and 2011. Between 2010 and 2011, the remains of numerous individuals were discovered in the vicinity of Gilgo Beach and Oak Beach on Long Island. The remains were found along Ocean Parkway, a stretch of highway that runs along the south shore of Long Island. The first set of remains was discovered in December 2010, when police were investigating the disappearance of a young woman named Shannon Gilbert. While searching for Gilbert, they uncovered the remains of 4 other individuals in burlap sacks. Over the next few months, additional remains were discovered, ultimately bringing the total number of victims to at least 10. The victims included women who were involved in sex work and had advertised their services online. The case raised suspicions of a serial killer targeting vulnerable individuals. The confirmed victims of the Long Island serial killing case, also known as the Gilgo Beach murders, include Amber Lynn Costello, who was a 27-year-old sex worker who went missing in September 2010. Her remains were found on December 13, 2010 in Gilgo Beach. Megan Waterman, who was a 22-year-old sex worker who disappeared in June 2010. Her body was also discovered on December 13, 2010 in the same area. Melissa Bartholomew, who was a 24-year-old sex worker who went missing in July 2009. Her remains were found on December 11, 2010, near Gilgo Beach. And Maureen Brainerd Barnes. She was a 25-year-old sex worker who went missing in July 2007. Her remains were discovered on December 13, 2010, along with the other victims. In 2011, police found the remains of more victims in different locations on Long Island, suggesting a wider area of activity for the perpetrator. The investigation eventually led authorities to Rex Heuermann, who was arrested in July 2023, facing charges related to the deaths of 3 women. Alright folks, it's time to roll up our sleeves and dive deep into the heart of the case. We're going to dissect the evidence both for and against Rex Heuermann's potential involvement in these tragic events. Buckle up, because this is where things get really interesting. In early 2023, a significant breakthrough was made in the investigation of the Long Island serial killing case. Investigators obtained a complete sample of Rex Heuermann's DNA from remnants of crust found inside a discarded pizza box. Upon examining a victim's skeletal remains and the materials discovered in the grave, forensic investigators discovered a male hair at the bottom of the burlap used to wrap the victim's body, according to prosecutors. Subsequently, a thorough DNA analysis revealed an exact match between the hair found and the DNA extracted from the pizza leftovers discarded by Heuermann. Let's talk about Rex's proximity to the victims' last known locations. You see, Rex lived in Massapequa Park, the very area where the victims were believed to have disappeared. Now that might not raise any alarm bells on its own, but when we start connecting the dots, it becomes intriguing. Then there's the burner cell phone connection. Rex was linked to burner phones that were used to contact the victims. For instance, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, one of the victims, was contacted using a burner cell phone on the day she vanished. And guess where the last known location of her phone was? Midtown Manhattan, the area where Rex worked. Alright folks, let's dive right into the intriguing world of personality traits. People who crossed paths with him often described him as angry, displaying arrogance, and even being fixated on sadistic tendencies. Now, these traits might ring some bells, and it's crucial that we explore how they fit into the bigger picture. Rex Heuermann, a man with a seemingly ordinary life, gradually falling into the grip of dark fantasies. These fantasies could have been the catalyst that set him on a twisted path of obsession. As time went on, these compulsions might have escalated, leading him down a treacherous road. Now let's consider Rex's calculated approach and his meticulous attention to detail. These traits, honed through his work as an architect, could have played a crucial role in the execution of his actions. Think about it, meticulously planning each step, leaving little room for error, and ensuring that his actions remained concealed. But here's where things take a haunting turn: the unfortunate, impulsive mistakes. Even the most calculated individuals can slip up, and Rex might have been no exception. Perhaps it was an unplanned encounter, a sudden urge, or a momentary lapse in judgment that led to those impulsive mistakes. And as fate would have it, these impulsive mistakes could have been the chink in Rex's armor, the weak point that eventually led to his undoing. Despite his meticulous planning, one rash decision, one unanticipated move, could have left a trail that investigators could follow. Imagine the frustration and anxiety that might have gripped Rex as he tried to cover his tracks, perhaps searching online for ways to evade capture. Those desperate searches, the attempts to put his mind at ease, could have been fueled by an increasing fear of getting caught. And now, here we are, unraveling the threads of this speculative theory. Rex's descent into dark fantasies, his calculated actions, his focus on details, and those unfortunate impulsive mistakes, they all contribute to a narrative that hints at a possible path he might have taken. But let me emphasize, we're navigating the waters of speculation here. This theory is just one possibility among many, a way for us to make sense of the intricate puzzle that is the Rex Heuermann case. The trial against Rex Heuermann appears to be moving forward, with a recent court hearing during which the prosecution provided 8 terabytes of discovery to Heuermann's attorneys. The district attorney is confident in the evidence linking Heuermann to the murders of 3 women, as well as his suspected involvement in other cases. Heuermann has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and his attorney emphasized their intent to defend the case vigorously in a courtroom rather than in the press. The defense attorney expressed skepticism about a plea deal and stated that the case will likely proceed to trial. The next court conference is scheduled for September 27th to update the judge on the case's progress. Heuermann remains in custody without bail. To sum things up, while the evidence against Rex Heuermann might be legally circumstantial, the patterns and connections do paint a compelling picture of his potential involvement. However, let's remember that legally Rex is presumed innocent at this stage. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts on this case. Don't hesitate to share your opinions and insights down in the comments. I truly value our discussions. Thanks for joining me today, and until our next analysis, keep that curiosity alive. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any future content. And if you'd like to support the channel, check out my Patreon link in the video description. Until next time, stay inquisitive and stay informed.